That's one of the very rare incidents in this world history where a company fought till the last man. They had bolt-action rifle, Chinese had semi-automatic rifle, and Indian army was ill-clad, ill-equipped. They were better equipped Chinese soldiers. And Major Shaitan Singh and all men of his company died. What makes the man go to that extreme level? You see, Harbhajan Singh was a soldier in Punjab. Sometimes in the 50s, now I can't remember the dates and all. Sometimes in late 50s, the early 60s, he was posted in Matula with his battalion. So he was going with the convoy of mules, taking supplies to one of the posts to the heights. There he slipped and fell into a fast-flowing Nala. And his comrades, his friends, tried to locate it or his body, but they could not locate his body. So they gave up searching. They were thinking that he's dead. That night, it says that he came in the dreams of his colleagues. He told them that his body is in so-and-so place, the bank of a Nala. Till now, downview. They found the body in the same spot, which he said. They brought the body and they made a samadhi. And over a period of time, his samadhi was shifted closer to Natula main road on the base of the watership. And then slowly the powers built up, name and fame built up.
So, did you had any similar experience where any soldier that you took got mated, and how did you cope up with that?
So in my long service, so many things happen. See, from 71 war, and I'll come to 71 war itself. Next day morning, we had to treat all our injured fellows. Almost 89 soldiers were injured. Some of them were lying unconscious. Their intestine had fallen off. We shoved those intestine into their stomach and used their same pagdi around their stomach and ties them and evacuated them. And by morning, we had 42 men killed of our, out of which two were my roommates. One was Captain Karam Singh, who was 10 months senior to me. Another one was Second Lieutenant Hardev Paul Nair, who was 6 months younger to me. We were sharing a same room in Jalandhar. Both of them died, with whom I had shared a meal before going into attack. In a mess tin full of dal and chapatis we had shared. Next day morning they were dead. Then there was one Major Theeraj Singh who died in the most heroic manner. He asked for our own artillery to fire on him because he could not hold on the captured area and he was being counter-attacked by Pakistanis. To chase the Pakistanis away, he had no sufficient manpower. So he asked our own artillery to fire on him. It's known as red. If you are 10 of you and you are surrounded by 50 enemy and you ask for fire on your own position, out of 10, 5 of you may perish. But out of 50, 30 will perish. They are in the open. But this is a gamble. You may die. But that is the level of sacrifice. Theeraj Singh asked for our own artillery to fire on his position. His medium machine gun survived, and the same medium machine gun trench where he was standing, he got a splinter hitting his head. He died. And we keep meeting his family whenever we have these celebrations up north. He had a wife and 3 children. One was 4 years old, one was 2 years old, 2 boys, and the daughter was 6 months old. So he died. But later on, you see, those 42 men, we cremated them in a village near Punjab, known as Kiala. So as a second lieutenant, I handled 89 seriously wounded casualties, 42 dead soldiers, including my 2 roommates and 1 major. That was at the age of 22 plus 23. in that age. So how many get a chance to, it's a once in a lifetime you handle so many casualties. But it's a very sad thing. You see, after the famous Battle of Waterloo, have you heard of Waterloo? Who's Napoleon? Napoleon lost the Battle of Waterloo to the British. After the famous Battle of Waterloo, Lord Wellington, who commanded the British troops, he said, the saddest thing in war after defeat, the saddest thing in war after defeat is to win and see your own dead. You understand the meaning of this? In a war, defeat is a lifelong shame for a soldier. But the saddest, that's the saddest thing. But saddest thing after that is to win. Not having your men around, that's your men that he commanded, they died. So that's what I undergo at the age of 23. I don't know how many 23-year-old fellows get that kind of opportunity, but I had that. Later on during the years, because I was, as I said, I was infantry. I was a captain in Nagaland. I lost a couple of soldiers in election duty. They were fired by Naga underground snipers. And we lost more men in Nagaland due to malaria, cerebral malaria. In those days, we never knew what is cerebral malaria, but within 2 days, our 6 soldiers died like houseflies. Okay, that is lost cause for no purpose. They're getting killed. Then I served in other places, in mountains, high altitude, and snowy bound areas, where I lost men. But that does happen. This is a thing, a price you have to pay in being an infantry lieutenant. And then when I was commanding after 25 years, I commanded the same battalion, 8 Sikh as commanding officer. I was commanding them in Gurez. Gurez is, if you see India's map, the head of India's map, that is Gurez. North of it is Gilgit and Skardu, that is POK. In Gurez, we had killed, in those days, these militants had already declared Kashmir as independent. Because of our weak government, I'll not name the political leaders of that time. 92 and 93 and 94, you open the history books, who was the Prime Minister, who was the Defense Minister, who was the Foreign Minister. They knew nothing as to what is happening. Pakistan, his militants had declared independence. My battalion was inducted into J&K in that time, difficult time. That was the time when Hazrat bulk crisis were there. They had taken hostages inside the Hazrat bulk crisis. I was at 14,600 feet in Gurez. The snowfall was 24 feet. If you have to go to our post in winters, the telephone post, only the tip of the telephone post was visible. You have to walk from one telephone post to another telephone post tip. And loose snow was up to your thigh deep. And you have to literally pull your leg up and put another leg in the front. That is the time when I lost 2 incidents of avalanches. In one avalanche, 6 men lost their lives coming under the snow from the top. They were buried alive. Another avalanche, 1 soldier died. And that is a very sad thing for a commanding officer to see his men lose life on such incidents. And retrieving their body next day, sending a rescue party to get the body explicated, and then cremating them was itself a big deal. problem. And that rescue party next day, after finishing their extrication of dead bodies and destroying a log hut and making a common pyre for 6 soldiers who died in avalanche, they lit them there only. And 2 days were over. One day going, one day retrieving them. And next day they want to come back. Next day the weather again piped up, heavy snowfall. And the soldiers had to take shelter there. Their rations they carried for 2.5 days finished. They had nothing to eat. Then one Sikh ally soldier had to tear off his sleeping bag and put it on fire and put a aluminium vessel on top of the fire and melt ice, put salt in it, and they all drank water with salt. So that is how the Indian army is surviving in such areas. What else?
And yes, sir. Like after you got promoted as a captain or major, what was your first operation that you undertook?
No, I already told you about captain. I was in Nagaland. Oh, major. I was a major in East Ladakh, where recently the skirmishes took place and one colonel was killed. I was a major there. I was commanding a company of 100 men. And if we were facing Chinese in a place known as Chushul, Chushul, that was almost 15,800 feet. And there the temperature used to dip as less as minus 38 degrees Celsius. Minus 38. Okay. And we were living in bunkers. There the bunker is very funny. You dig 4 feet deep. Then in the Chushul airfield, there were thousands of jerry cans lying because airport was abandoned by Indian Army in 62. The thousands of jerry cans lying. And the jerry cans were put against the wall. See, because the jerry can the inside air is a poor conductor of heat. Then you put small windows of reinforced glass and then put beam on top and then CJ sheet and cover it with earth. Then put a second layer of CJ sheet, again cover it on with earth. So you make a bunker with 4 glass windows. Now it looks very dry and drab. So what we do is the parachutes used for dropping supplies. Parachutes are put as false ceiling to your bunker. And it comes up to this level, white. And down below, all your old blankets, condemned blankets, they are put along the wall to make it look black. So 4 feet of black blanket and then it is parachutes. And then you have a small kerosene heater for which the kerosene oil comes from outside. It keeps on dropping. And is known as Bukharis. Bukharis keep burning. So the bunker gets heat through kerosene oil heater. And there is a small zigzag exit. And there are 2 doors. When you open the first door, the cold draft doesn't come directly into the bunker, and you come to a zigzag and open the second. And your bathroom, it has got metallic latrine sheets. Night, the bathroom water freezes. Minus 38 degrees. And the bathroom floor water freezes. If you go walk at night, you may slip and slide in the bathroom. So morning, the orderly comes. He'll come with a mug of kerosene oil. He throws kerosene oil into the latrine sheet. Your railways, you see the latrine sheet. Sure, that is latrine sheet. And he sets it on fire. And the fire melts the bathroom. So the latrine sheets. So your bathroom is like a coal factory. It is all dark inside. And then when the water melts, then he'll come and tell you, sir, now we can use the bathroom. That is how we lived. Now I believe now the things have improved. In those days, there were no roads. We had to walk a complete day from our brigade headquarters to Chushul. We had to walk. There was a sandy track, and one-ton truck used to come with us that had to be pushed at places. Now they say the road is there's got a 4-lane highway along Chushul border and right up to Dawlat Beg Oldie, where the old Aniud airport used to be there. Now things have improved much. In those days, we used to eat only tin stuff. Tin stuff means morning breakfast. Used to get up, used to curse. Oh my God, now I got to have my breakfast. Breakfast was what? Dehydrated egg powder. And you open it, it stinks. It has the egg stink. And to make an omelette out of it, there is no onion, no tomatoes, no green chilies. You have to only add haldi powder, lal mirchi, and salt, and make omelette out of it. And you have to close your nose and shove it and eat it. That was how we lived. So the soldier doesn't complain. Okay. And then there is Razangla. I wanted to tell this. Now, what is Razangla? How many of you have heard of Razangla? Nobody had heard. Razangla was located at 16,000 feet plus. 1962, September. A company of Kumau, Potin Kumau, was there. The company commander was Nele Shaitan Singh. And the company comprised of Ahirs. Ahirs are a particular caste in Haryana. They were sent there ill-equipped, ill-clothed, ordinary shoes, ordinary jersey pullovers, no special clothing. They were sent there to guard Razangla. Okay. On September morning, on a particular date, I don't remember the exact date, they were surrounded more than 1,000 Chinese troops, and the gun battle ensued. And in that battle, all the 114 soldiers of Kumau died and fought till the last man, last bullet. That's one of the very rare incidents in this world history where a company fought till the last man. They had bolt-action rifles. Chinese had semi-automatic rifles. And Indian army was ill-clad, ill-equipped. They were better equipped Chinese soldiers. And Major Shaitan Singh and all men of his company died. What makes a man go to that extreme level to make such sacrifice and even give his life? Let it not be written that a faceless soldier or nameless soldier died for the country. That soldier was a beloved son of his parents, a beloved brother of his sister, a beloved husband of his wife, and a playmate of his 2 children. And that wife will never ever hear the footfalls of her husband in her home. You go to the villages of North, you will find every 5th or 6th house has a portrait of a soldier, a lamp being lit morning and evening, and the parents shedding tears, a sister leading a Rakhi every Rakhi day, and the wife shedding silent tears, and those children will never know the meaning of a warm hug from a father. So I served in those areas. Why? That soldier gave his life for the ashes of his forefathers, for the temples of his gods, and for the precious piece of land that will be inherited by you generation, next generation. Say, don't write, he is a nameless and a faceless soldier.
So it was like a surprise attack from China, or it was?
So it was a normal attack or surprise attack, and Nehru was repeating Panchashil, Hindi, Chini, bye bye, but they meant business.
As that
Now, why there is no syllabus, no subject on any school subject, any history subject, any heroism, any act of sacrifice being taught in any schools? There's so many deeds of martyrs who laid down their life for you and me. You go to Kohima Cemetery, there's a big placard, a granite wall. It says, it is written, when you go home, tell them of us. For their today we gave our, for their tomorrow we gave our today. So that's it.
So, according to you, it was a suicide mission.
No, it's not a suicide mission. You see, Indian Army was sent there with their specific mission, defend Razangla. They defended.
They didn't knew that they were elective until they fought.
No, they knew that when you suffer from cold and shivering, you know that you are ill-equipped. You are not equipped to face, forget about enemy, you are not equipped to face the weather, adverse weather.
If an army soldier dies in a war, will his body be sent back to our country, or it will lie there itself?
You see, there is, after Second World War, there is a convention known as Geneva Convention, where all the countries are signatories to it. How to treat a prisoner of war. Once the hostilities are over, the prisoner of war are to be exchanged. Prisoner of war, there are very many rules. He cannot be tortured. He has to be treated like a army person. And there are various rules and do's and don'ts are there. That has to be followed. But it is not being followed. You see that Captain Kalia, in Kargil War, he took a patrol. They were apprehended. They were caught by the Pakistani. But what happened? Kalia's body came back totally mutilated. His eyes were gouged out. His genitals were cut. His fingernails were pulled out. Well, you can't. The Pakistani didn't agree, honor the Geneva Convention.
So can you tell us more about the Kargil War, and also why is India take help of Israel for ammunition and mortars? And also one more question on top of that: why was Air Force not used during Kargil?
You see, I'm not a authority on talk about Kargil War, but I was in service. But when the Kargil happened, I was commanding a mountain brigade in Sikkim, East Sikkim. I had 5 battalions deployed along the East Sikkim mountains, facing the Chinese. In some places in that East Sikkim, it was eyeball to eyeball deployment, where they could shake hands with the Chinese soldiers. Starting with from approximately 15,000 feet to 14,000, 13,000 feet along the eastern Sikkim borders, is known as watershed. Watershed means it is the highest range of mountains in that particular area. It's like this peaks where the snowfall is there. The snowfall falling here, when it melts, one side it goes to India, other side goes to China. They are known as watershed heights. So we are sitting in the watershed heights. Now, we were asked to be alert in the eastern sector because we were worried that China may provoke Indian Army on the eastern side. So we were asked to be alert and ready for any eventualities. But Chinese didn't do anything. But what happened in our sector was we were asked to move all the Bofors guns from east to Kargil. Imagine the level of Herculean task that is involved. The Bofors gun in my brigade were at the height of about 10,000 feet. They had to be moved by road to Siliguri at sea level. It had to be loaded into train, taken to all the way to Jammu and Patalkot by train, and then unload them and take them to Srinagar, Zojila, and Kargil. So all the Bofors guns were moved into Kargil sector because the most effective gun which can use the devastating firepower is on those mountain tops. Because the Kargil mountain tops like Towering Height, Jawar Hills and Tiger Hill, they are all 17,000 plus. That's the first plan. Now, why Kargil happened was, we believed that things would remain as it is because every winter, these sports were difficult to manage. Because there were no roads, the new tracks, the jeepable tracks were covered with snow. So the troops were brought from those tops to their base. And the Pakistanis knew it. Now, what we did with Pakistan was in this place, Siachen. When Pakistan vacated their post, we went and occupied. It was a quid pro quo by General Pervez Musharraf. He used that same tactics against us by sending his troops in the disguise of irregulars to occupy those heights when our troops had moved down. But sitting at that height in summer, it is like sitting and looking into Kargil Valley. The complete road linking Kashmir to Kargil and then to Leh can be dominated. It can be interdicted by artillery fire. And that was a shock to the Indian Army. So it had to be retaken. At what cost? Cost of manpower, cost of arms, ammunition, and pure bravery of these young officers like Vikram Batra, Baijan Thapar, Captain Kadia, and some brave hearts like Yogendra Yadav. Again, they sacrificed everything. They gave their precious lives. They gave their yesterday for our today. Right? Yes. That was the entire world, including Americans, knew that it will be an impossible task. The so-called English movie Mission Impossible. They thought it's gone. But they were surprised at the tenacity of Indian soldiers and the bravery and determination of the Indian soldier and the Indian army. They took it back, but at heavy cost. And if we had not taken it, then it would have been difficult to maintain Kargil, Leh and Ladakh. Now, why Air Force was not used? You see, Air Force could not fly along the LOC. When this is the Kargil area, the aircraft cannot fly like this because it will violate the LOC, line of control. That was again our politicians weighing LOC violate next and when the sanctity of LOC has been violated already. Again, we are trying to say that we want to fight a Dharma Yudh. Now, if this is this thing, and if this is the Indian Air Force, if it has to come and attack this cake and fire at it, the velocity of the aircraft will take into POK. So it will come under, it's a violation of LOC. Neither can it come like this. So it had to fire from distance to this place and then climb up before they can violate the LOC. So the aircraft, our fighter pilots, they had their hands tied back. That's why the Air Force was not used to its full firepower. But then Indian Army proved its mettle by retaking the Kargil heights.
Little bit more shed light on Saurabh Kalia's story, sir. What exactly had happened?
No, based on the information of a local shepherd that he had seen some men in uniform there. So Saurabh Kalia was sent with their patrol to ascertain the information. Probably due to inclement weather, bad weather, he was waylaid and ambushed by the Pakistanis. And he was, nobody is there to tell you the actual story. Saurabh Kalia himself is dead. You have to only add 1 plus 1 and make into 2. So he was taken as a prisoner. But what happened late and next must be unexplainable. The way he was tortured, his eyes were gouged out, his fingernails were pulled out, his genitals were cut, his mutilated body, it was handed over much later. The story remains untold. I am feeling sorry for that brave captain and the men who were with him. And many of these stories, even the debriefing of the survivors, it will remain untold because these are not declassified.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, I heard a story of a person called as Major Sandhi during Taj Hotel. So like I felt I was very much sad after hearing that. Like, could you put some light on why exactly? I think he wasn't provided a proper armor vest.
No. You see, special forces, they all have proper equipment. They have the best of the equipment in India today. SSF, Black Cat Commandos, NSG. They are from the Indian Army only. From paratroopers, infantry battalions, and engineers, they are selected and trained for their peak physical efficiency and their ability as marksmen, the ability of handling explosives. So they are best equipped. To say that Sandeep Kumar has not been given with the bulletproof vest is taking the things to the other extreme. But according to my belief, the NSG and Black Cat Commandos have got the best protective gear and the best the close combat weapons and the best arms and ammunition.
How is the mentality of special force different from other army people?
There is not much difference. As I said already, when you call for special forces, you ask for volunteers from the army, armed forces only. Armed forces, BSF and CISF, paratroopers. And they are put through a rigorous training. And they are selected at the end of the thing, yes, this man is good. So it's a mixed body of best troops that is available in India today. So And then they develop such a confidence that even if you are there, they'll shoot right next to your head and knock off the enemy. They are capable marksmen.
Sir, when Special Force is called to a mission, I heard that the mission is 99% impossible and 1% possible. Is it true?
No, you may say 99% impossible, but even special force, before it is pushed into the action, they make that it is 99% possible and 1% impossible. Because you make plans in such a foolproof way. You don't send men into the absolutely 99% impossible mission, you don't send and lose men. It has a long term moral effect on the troops who have gone in. So you have to ensure that these people come back with success. But then they are provided with those necessary equipment and explosives and arms and ammunition to make the mission successful. Okay. So you don't send the elite commandos, Marcos and Black Cat commandos into a mission and say they failed and only 1 out of 10 came back. That will have a very highly demoralizing effect on that group itself. It will take a long period. They have to dismantle the entire unit, disband the entire unit, and then rebuild them. So you don't send them unless you are assured of success.
And also, it is told if they cannot fulfill them, that mission is impossible.
Impossible. Yes. But there is always a mission that is possible. You see, who thought of surgical strike in earlier days? Who thought of it? And unfortunately, in our country, when the armed forces carry out such daredevilry actions, and we ourselves start questioning them, is it true? Is there a proof? Why should you belittle our own forces? Isn't it?
Yes.
You can't make 400-500 people tell lies. Exactly. हमने वो कर दिया. It was a daredevilry action by the selected group of officers and men, and very female officers were involved in it, in planning and execution.
Sir, which was the mission, like, which promoted you to brigadier?
No, you don't promote a person based on one mission.
Oh.
You see, officer's career it's like writing your horoscope on your date of birth, isn't it? In our case, your record of service is maintained throughout. Your performance as a young officer, your performance in your war, based on your war report, your performance in courses. You see, we attend various courses: commando course, weapons course, mortars course, signals course, in infantry school and war colleges, in junior leaders thing in Belgaum. Okay. And then all these, plus every year, your commanding officer writes your annual confidential reports. It's known as ACR. There are various columns. Your ACR is graded on figurative assessment. That is fed. So at the end of the year, what is your total secure? How much points have you secured? Courses, performances, war, and ACR. Your day-to-day performance. When a commanding officer is known as the IO, initiating officer. But that is moderated by RO, a reviewing officer. That is the brigadier, sitting at the brigade of court. Then, in cases, it is the SRO, senior reviewing officer, EFCC3. If he knows you, the general. So, what happens is, it's accumulated. Initially, from a lieutenant to major, it is based on the reports and the service that you have completed, right? And you have to pass various promotion examinations. In our time, initially there were Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. What is it? It involves different papers, different level, like in a school, from lower school to PUC. You have to write on tactics, platoon and company leading tactics for junior officers, current affairs, military history. You are given a subject for the particular year. Like I have studied Shivaji, Babur, some Rommel, okay, Guderian. Their histories are studied and campaign studies. You will learn about North African campaign, Burma campaign, Korean War. So, an officer is made to study. Okay, there is never-ending study. You study till you are retiring. You have to pass these promotion examinations. So, up to major, you have to pass. To become a major, you have to have all these. If you are indisciplined, then you again lose it. Part D level, you have to pass. So the current affairs, military history, military science, military law, administration, and morale. All these papers you have to qualify. From major onwards, the pyramid becomes steeper. It is vacancy based. From major onwards, for lieutenant colonel, you are considered in army headquarters. Your board takes place, your batch. So many vacancies for lieutenant colonels exist. So many lieutenant colonels, majors are to be promoted to lieutenant colonels. It is like you appear for IAS exams. So many vacancies. The top 100 will go into IAS. The next 100 will go into IPS. And so many will go into IFS. So that. And the remaining are left out because they are not qualified, come in that group of selection rate. Okay, from major you become a lieutenant colonel. So from lieutenant colonel, your again performance is assessed. Your performance is assessed throughout your life. Then you become a colonel. Are you fit to command a regiment? Okay, so you become a colonel. Then from colonel, are you fit to command a brigade? So you become a brigadier. Then the pyramid becomes still steeper. On the top, there is only one stone on the pyramid. That is what Chief of Army Staff. Okay. So, lesser major generals, still lesser lieutenant generals, and only one general. General becomes once in 2 years. Many of the other, his juniors, without having gone through that board, they'll retire, lieutenant general. So, the steep pyramid, only merit-based promotions after colonels, after lieutenant colonels. It is not, doesn't mean that you are not good. It means that there is no vacancy for you.
So yeah, luck is also a factor.
Yes.
Sir, did you get any opportunity to work in United Nations peace? In your command, did anyone join United Nations peacekeeping mission?
You see, some battalions went for United Nations mission, peacekeeping missions. It goes on rotation. Each regiment gets a vacancy. One battalion goes on vacancy. This thing. If you're going as an individual person into United Nations mission, you're based on your history, your career profile, you are called in army headquarters, go for an interview. Then if you are selected, you may go on United Nations mission. Same as, like you go to OTA as instructor, IMA as instructor. Again, for that, there is a criteria. Everyone doesn't go. It is a prize posting. You go to army headquarters in military operations, staff officer, you got to have certain criteria. You have to meet that. Because when you write officer pen picture, you write his physical attributes and his appearance and his integrity, honesty, uprightness, moral values. We make a comment on everything. If you meet all those criteria, you may go as the instructor or on a foreign posting. It all depends on your annual confidential reports. Yes, I went to from OTA. I went to IPKF. My battalion was in Sri Lanka. I went there. I was injured. I was blown off in a IED. I was heli-lifted from the site of the jungle to the battalion headquarters. From there, I was airlifted from Jaffna Palali airfield to Chennai to Bangalore. I had multiple fracture of the face, lower jaw. I had a hole behind my ear. Mastoid was damaged. The left ear was gone. Left earlobe was in 3 pieces. Face was paralyzed. I could not blink my eyes. So they wired my entire mouth and closed it shut. I was in ICU for 3 months. I was fed through a pipe. I lived on a liquid diet for 3 months. I could not blink. I used to close my eyelids with the gauze. Face was paralyzed. I could not speak properly. My mouth was wired closed shut. So for 3 months, they could not do surgery on my left ear. It was like a cauliflower. It used to discharge. They could not do surgery because they could not give me anesthesia because my mouth was closed and wired. So after 3 months, I came out of ICU and then I remained another 3 months in officer's ward, underwent 3 surgeries, and after 6 months, I was discharged.
Can you explain how did you got into that situation?
It was Tamil Tigers. They had laid an IED and we had gone on a mission. They had targeted me and the remote control, they activated the IED planted on the road and I was blown off and I get all the stones hitting my face.
What were you thinking at time when you were in edge of death?
You see, you read Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
What did Krishna tell Arjuna? Rise, O son of Kunti, and fight this righteous war. Dharma Yudh Karo.
Yeah.
And if you win, you will enjoy this earth. If you die, you will go to heaven. Have you understood?
Yeah.
So when the blast takes place, you are not aware that the blast has taken place. Like you and me are chatting now, suddenly the lights go off. No sound, no pain, no hear. So I never knew that I am under a blast. And
You were unconscious at that.
When the blast took place, if I had died, I would have been in heaven. But I survived and I won. I am enjoying the earth. Okay. So I woke up after 24 hours. Somebody said, don't talk. Your mouth is all wired shut. You were shouting. My left eardrum had gone and it was a humming. You keep 2 glasses on your 2 ears. What did you hear? You hear the humming noise? That was, even now my left ear is affected. I lost hearing is about 35 decibels is loss of hearing. It is eardrum is grafted. It went off in J&K when I was fighting with the militants in Gurez, and again it has been regrafted. So I am living with that. They said this year will disintegrate. It will become a restless year. It will become a stop. But luckily it stuck on. It is now totally like a thicker year than this. So that's why I said I died a couple of times when I survived. Right? So if you're dead in a battlefield, you don't feel the pain. When the bullet hits you, you're gone. It's the most beautiful death that a warrior can have, die in a battlefield.
Prestigious man.
You got several injuries in war. Which one was most memorable injury?
You see, injuries, basically major injury was in Sri Lanka only. But otherwise, minor, there is nothing much. Only thing is, if you have your men as a leader, you are more concerned about injuries to your men and loss of life to your men. If you lose men, you feel sad and bad, and you can't eat for days together properly and can't sleep peacefully. Then you keep on doing a post-mortem and analyze the reason why it happened. Could I have done better? Was it because of my mistake? The loss of life. You keep learning from the mistake that you have done. But you can't afford to make mistakes and learn continuously. You should not let play with your men's lives.
After injury, you again had to undergo medical test, right?
Yes, sir.
How did you feel at that time? Were you scared?
No, okay, see, that is a very funny story. I didn't tell you intentionally. After 6 months, I was given a discharge slip, saying that unfit for duties requiring keen hearing. Number 2, not to be exposed for loud noise and blast, and to be posted near a military hospital. I came out of Bangalore Air Force Hospital. My wife was in Secunderabad in our police station. I didn't tell her that also. I came back and packed my luggage again, and I went and joined my unit in Sri Lanka. Look, it is a fact. Okay.
Look, they allowed it.
I didn't show them restriction. I went back to Sri Lanka. I gave that restriction to show to my CEO. He said, "Why have you come?" I said, "Sir, I want to be with my soldiers. I can't sit in Chennai and distribute salary to the men going on leave." And then a letter came from army headquarters. Said, "Why this man is in Sri Lanka?" I said, "I am on my own reason. If anything happens in the present condition, my face was still all bloated, fresh from wounds."
What was the age at that time?
I was 34, 35. No, not 34, 35. I was 36, 37. So, meanwhile, my promotion had come as a lesson colonel. So, they said, "ये पागल आदमी है." ठीक है, पागल कर दो. So then they posted me to Allahabad. So I remained in Allahabad for a year and a half to recouping. So that is, as I told you, destiny has something for you. It will happen.
Sir, when you got injured, what was the state of your families?
She was quiet.
In every civilian family, when a person goes to army, they are scared of exactly this situation.
You see, army wives, they have gone through all these. As an officer's wife, she sees a lot of things happening in a soldier's family. Okay. She is supposed to be a mother for a soldier's family. She doesn't wash her hands off from her duties as an officer's wife. She goes to a soldier's house if there's a problem, the child falls sick, he goes and helps them to get them admitted. There's a family welfare meet. And if there's any soldier's family's problem, she'll come and tell me, so and so soldier's wife is having this problem. Then I call that soldier and I give him a danda. So why didn't you take care of her? Or he is not taking care of the lady, not giving her money. I ensure, and she ensures that. So they are supposed to take care. So they are grown up in this system. Some soldier has died. Some soldier's wife has died while giving a childbirth. So they can't. As army officer's wife is not supposed to display her emotions in public. Have you understood? And she has to put up a brave front whenever anything happens, including her own husband. So she has to give a pacifying word to the families, brave face. She has to do it. And so she never said anything. He never said, don't go. You stay. I could have stayed in Chennai airfield, distributing salary to the soldiers coming back from Sri Lanka, going home on leave. I didn't want that. So I went back to Sri Lanka without showing that restriction to anybody. Didn't even show it to my wife.
How was the feeling of your parents that day? Like the main thing is parents, they worry more than the wife.
Yeah, I was in ICU for 3 months and ward for 3 months, all wired. So my mother and sister were in Bangalore. She was also in Bangalore. Her aunts were in Bangalore. Her mother-in-law was in Bangalore. They used to come every day to the ward, officers' ward, bringing a lot of idli, dosa, chicken, all the feeds. And they used to feed all other officers who are injured. And they used to tell me, sir, this is very nice. How do you make it? My mouth was shut. You eat it and keep quiet. That's how it was. I said, they also know that this fellow cannot listen to anybody. And he has his own drive and determination. Advising him is of no use. I'll tell them, keep quiet. I know what is good for. But that's how life is. So, if, as I said, if you have to die, you will die anywhere, in an accident also.
When I was small, sir, I lost my favorite uncle in army, sir. So, like, as a kid, I didn't even know what exactly happened. My mom just said, your uncle will never come back. So later when I grown up, I just understood what exactly happened.
So that's it. That's the life of a soldier.
So one thing you want to say for the aspirants, upcoming aspirants who was going for SSB as well as returnator. One key tip.
No, there's nothing much to say. Today's generation is much more informed and well educated.
But the competition is more.
Competition is more, but then you just can't, on a spur of a moment, decide that I want to join the army. You have to prepare yourself. See, mentally, physically, intellectual. Okay, these three things are very important. Mental, physical, and intellectual. And prepare for it. If you prepare for it and be natural, don't tell lies, don't bring in written artificial synthetic essence into your personality. And then most important thing is you have to develop your personality, communication skills, personality, dressing up, take care, have a well-groomed look. If you have a well-groomed look and if you are intelligent, if you are physically fit, anything is possible. Yes, but then there are in your group there may be 200 other students of your caliber. Everyone thinks that I am good. But trying and going through 2 or 3 SSD itself is an education, even if you don't get through it. You come to know where is your shortcoming.
There are rapid fire questions in the interview, right? What did you feel about that round? Why is it kept?
No, it is a rapid fire question. It doesn't give you time to think.
Yeah.
It is instinctive. That's a psychological test. I understood.
Yeah.
That shows what kind of a character you are. A rapid fire question. It comes automatically. Yes. Yeah. Poverty. Paisa. Pretty good. Isn't it? Yes.
In one of the mock-up interview, the interviewer is cool and suddenly he becomes rude and we panic when he becomes rude. How to handle that situation?
Yes. You have to maintain your cool, calm exterior. Your mind may be in turmoil, disturbed mood, but don't show it. Show your external. Show it in an external appearance. Maintain cool. And you know that man is a ustad. He knows everything. He is testing you. He has got nothing to do with you. For him, you are one of the thousands who come there for interview. Have you understood? Well, that's it.
Sir, now coming to one more main question, like, can you share the story of Harbhajan Singh? Like you had like mentioned before, you are the trustee of the temple.
Yeah.
Can you tell the story of it? And
You see, Harbhajan Singh was a soldier in Punjab Regiment. Okay. Sometimes in the 50s, now I can't remember the dates and all the things. Sometimes in late 50s or early 60s, he was posted in Natula with his battalion. So he was going with the convoy of mule, taking supplies to one of the posts to the heights. There he slipped and fell into a fast-flowing nala. And his comrades, his friends, tried to locate him or his body, but they could not locate his body. So they gave up searching, thinking that he's dead. That night, it says that he came in the dreams of his colleagues, and he told them that his body is in so and so place on the bank of a Nala, the same Nala, down below. And he requested them to make a samadhi for it. So a samadhi, they found the body in the same spot, which he said. They brought the body and they made a samadhi for her. And over a period of time, his samadhi was shifted closer to Natula main road on the base of the watershed hill. And then slowly the powers built up, name and fame built up. And people started giving him respect and saying that his spirit has got the power of protecting men who follow the discipline of the army there. So over a period of time, for slowly the soldiers left non-vegetarian food and spirit, alcohol, for 2 days a week. Then there is a post on the top of his mandir, known as Teen Devya. There, the men who are posted there, they don't eat any non-vegetarian stuff and they don't consume alcohol. As such, in our area where you're having an eyeball to eyeball confrontation with Chinese, only 1/3 of the troops are given alcohol, that too in the afternoon. So it goes in rotation. So ultimately, a soldier gets alcohol once in 3 days. Okay. And then a belief came that He goes in a horse along the watershed, his spirits. And they built a mandir there. There's a central mandir. On either side, there are 3 rooms. In one room, they make a cot and a bed. And one of the battalions who come there in that particular sector on duty, they leave a sevadar there. In the center of this thing, there is a photograph of Baba Harbhajan Singh and a dam boxa where they put offerings. And his bed is made every day. Next day, they say the bed looks crumpled. It is not a Khalsa who's sevadar. Every different regiment comes there, but he says the bed shows crumpled. Then there's a separate room. Second room, his dress is kept. His night dress, his uniform. Over the period, he has got promotion. And when I was there, he was a subedar, Naib subedar. And there is a prasad room. And then there are other side 3 rooms. In one room, the devotees come there and take a spring water from there, which is falling, perpetual spring water. Keep it in a bottle there with their name label. And after 1 month, they take it as a prasad. Another room, that water, they say it has got medicinal value. It doesn't give you stomach disturbance, problem with the digestion system, and doesn't give you cold and cough. Another room, there is dress, newly stitched dress of offerings. You can keep your dress there. If you've got skin disease, your skin disease will go off, they say. Then in the third room, there is footwear, chappal jacket, plastic. You keep it there for a week and then wear the chappal. You don't get that arthritis type of a problem in your foot. So I heard this story. When I took over the command, I silently said, I will not consume liquor in my command is over. For 30 months in Sikkim, at 11,000 feet, I didn't touch, not even beer. Forget about whiskey. Not even beer I touched. And every day, I used to take a quarter glass of that water. I don't know that is my discipline, like it took care of me, or it is Babaji's water. 30 months, I had no cold, no cough, no running nose, no temperature, no stomach trouble. Okay. Then one of my nephew had psoriasis, that fishy scale come in. I took his night dress. He went through all treatments. I took his dress, 2 pair of night dress, kept it there for 10 days. Then I sent it down to Bangalore, and the psoriasis is gone. The skin disease is free of skin disease. And chappal I never tried. So it's going on, and it helps you to command the troops better. Soldiers are scared of the supernatural powers. They don't drink for 2 days. They do their duty diligently. Okay. They believe in Babas. And there is, every Sunday, there is a Guru Ka Langar there. People come there and take the prasad. There's puri and chane, chole and bature. They eat. They don't drink on 2 days. So in 7 days, 2 days are gone. And out of the 5 days, they get to drink only 3 days. That's how. And then Babaji is sent on. He is still serviced. Now he must have retired. That was 2003, and when I was there, he goes on leave. It is not on papers. A gypsy is prepared. A typical, his photo is kept in the co-driver's seat. A flag is tied on the top. One of his Sevadar goes along with him, a soldier. The gypsy goes down to Siliguri from 11,000 feet. It goes to Siliguri. En route, all the villagers, they received and do puja. Siliguri, the photograph is kept in a transit camp, JCO's ward. Assam mail, 2 seats were booked and 2-tier sleeper, AC sleeper. And his bed is made. Assam Railways do this. Okay. And the upper sleeper, his Sahayak sleeps, down below sleeper. Nobody can come and sleep there. They don't let anybody come and berth khali hai, so jao. And he is received at Jalandhar. From Jalandhar, he is taken to a different train. It goes to Kapurthala, his native place. For 2 months in Kapurthala Gurudwara, puja part, akhand part chalta hai. And his donations ka offering ka 50% money is sent to his home, to his family. And then after 60 days, he comes back. In those 60 days, the Sevadar in the top temple, he says, the bed is not crumpled. It doesn't look as if it is, they will slept upon. And then he comes again and is received and reinstalled in the temple. You have seen his photograph?
Yes, sir. I saw
I got a photograph here with me. I'll even today I put an incense stick.
Sir, it is also said, right? Like he comes in the dream of soldiers and
Yeah.
tells the secrets of.
No, that is not there. But he says he comes in, some soldiers get a kick.
So you sleeping duty.
Sleeping on duty.
Those and all are lies. Like
Yeah. At times one tends to exaggerate things. But now Chinese also believe that Babaji is dead. We twice a year we have meeting, border person meeting. I take an Indian delegation. They come with their delegation, with the interpreters, and it's a huge conference like a foreign ministers meeting with the flags and everything. One chair is kept for it, empty. Even Chinese now started keeping one chair for him. So you see, in our place there is nothing like Pakistan LOC. This place, it is all peaceful. Chinese don't cross into our territory when we go cross into their territory. But duty has to be performed. So a lot of money comes in the form of offering. 50% is sent to his family. Other 50% is spent on welfare of troops. I distribute the money to all the battalions. Buy this, buy that. TV or some generator.
many people come to army after watching movie like Lux. Did you find anyone joining army after watching movies? What is the difference between what is shown in the movie and what happens in the real life?
No, the difficult thing with this show is true, but you don't get Priti Zinta. The heroines are not there. Okay. It basically showing human psychology, emotions. Somebody has got a girlfriend back home, she writes to him, and then she ditches him and she goes for somebody else who is in corporate sector and thinking that ये फौजी है, इसको कुछ फायदा नहीं है. These things happen. There are young officers who have been cheated in their love, and some of them write love letters every day. In those days, there was no mobile. Have you got it? In those days, there was no mobile. Now there is mobile. I don't know what is the state now. But things are now much better. You see, in our time when we went to OTA, we had to take money from home and we had to deposit the money. Every month we'll get 50 rupees. I'm talking about 69.70. Okay. 50 rupees sufficient for your giving your oddly who'll buy the polish, brush, brasso, keep everything ready. And then we used to go once in a while to Madras with 10, 15 rupees in your pocket, see a movie and have masala dosa in Das Prakash and come back. Okay. Now, when you join the last pay commission, they equated us with everyone. IAS, IPS, everyone is equated. They get their stipend. IAS people. Now they said, he said he should be treated as a second lieutenant, not a gentleman cadet. He is a second lieutenant. But if you make him wear the officer's rank, the drill ustad can't hold you by the belt and shake you.
Yeah.
He is a JC or a Havaldar.
Yeah.
So he doesn't wear a rank. He is still a GC. But he starts getting a stipend of a second lieutenant salary. Have you understood?
Yeah, got it.
So he is well paid. He is getting about 50,000-60,000 rupees. Okay. But when we were there, he used to get it, but we didn't give it. We gave only 50% of it. So in 1 year, he gets about 3.5 lakhs. And when he's becoming officer, depending on where he's posted, he'll take out buy a brand new bike and he'll drive home. Okay, that's how the things have changed. And he becomes he wears 2 stars. He's a lieutenant. Over?
Sir, in IoT, this teacher, I still remember, he was like full motivation to me that I was in low. Our candidate, course mate, which, any one of them, which comes into your mind, who is he? How did he support to you?
I could get your question.
Like in a training process in OTA, there is like some point like you will be low. At that time, your like course mate or your teachers or any other faculties who are in OTA, they like gave a motivation to you to continue. Who are they?
You see, when you go for SSB, some fellows may be physically and intellectually and mentally fit. Some may not be physically fit. So in each course, if there are 300 or 400 cadets in OTA, there will be a level, top to bottom. Okay. This fan may be very weak. If you put him a 20 kg pack, he'll struggle to do 45 kilometers. So his body system, he'll take his pittu, another body will take his weapon. Our aim is to ensure that he is not left behind. It is in the army also.
Yeah.
No one is to be left behind. So we drag him. Okay. And we bring him. Finish the 40 kilometers Great Escape Run and the route march, BPT and all those things. But then certain tests he has to pass. He has to go up with all the weight. He has to take his leg up in the rope and then go and get down on the other side. If he can't do it, he fails. He is put into extra classes, extra duty. He is made too tough. And the platoon commander calls him and counsels him. You have to do it. And when I was the instructor, I identified the weaklings and I used to call them in the afternoon before going for lunch, come in front of my office. The under officer used to come. I said, make them do 50 sit-ups and 50 bench stretches every day before lunch. Okay. And after that, turn back and again do it 50, 25. So 75 sit-ups and 75 bench stretches. They used to see by the time his friends used to finish the mess food and they used to go back to the barrack and go to sleep. Now these fellows realize that if I don't do it, and my entire life will be spent like this. And they do it. Human body is such, it can go to any extent and it can become, can withstand any amount of punishment. You go to Siachen, it is, what temperature is there? Minus 58 degrees Celsius. Okay. You go to Jodhpur, Barmer, it is plus 45, 48 degrees. So, minus 58
plus 48. How much is? It's almost 90 degrees variation. Your body can sustain that much of variation in temperature. It's possible. Even a weakest of the fellows can do it if he wants to do it. But it's our job as instructors to ensure that this man is fit. Okay.
Sir, how was your ball party experience?
No, in our time there was no. We had normal socials, no girlfriends allowed and all those things. Only they used to mingle with the officers' wives and ladies, and just we tell them how to. We basic aim is to teach them how to conduct yourself in a social gathering, how to converse with a lady, how to address a lady. Okay, and NDA ball is there. The girls are permitted to come. Now in OT is also there. IMA is also there.
INA also is.
IMA is also there. But not everybody, everyone doesn't get a girlfriend. Not unless you are a local, you don't get to know the locals. Or your friend is a local guy. Okay.
Sir, in Indian Army, I think this is a kind of a controversial question, but are women allowed in army as a soldiers, or is it only for men?
No. Soldiers, they permit only in the military police. Women soldiers.
Okay. So it is not as long.
Not allowed otherwise.
No.
So far, there are no women soldiers in any other organization other than Corps of Military Police, TMB.
Is it because of the strength or?
It's not because of strength, it's because of the working conditions.
There are many, women's officers who are coming up in this time. What is your thing? I mean, there is a mentality like a crucial mentality, like army people won't follow the orders from the girl officer. There was a mentality before 10 years.
It's a question of not following the orders. If he or she is a senior, you have to follow the orders. Okay? But yes, we are making a big hype of women officers in the Indian Army. We tend to put them in the forefront. Indian Army has reached the stage that women leading a Republic Day contingent, and she goes with the sword and shouts order, daine, dek. It is part of a hype and building a front that, yes, we are, our women are leading from the forefront. But they have their own restrictions, they have their own capabilities. Only time will tell. In some of the regiments, women have become commanding officers. Okay. And it is one way or the other, people. If you say anything derogatory about women, it's blown out of proportion. You see, in OT and NDA, their physical standards are different. Yeah. Have you understood? Yeah. Now, with the different physical standard, she becomes an officer, goes to a regiment which is totally male dominated, and she becomes a major. And tomorrow there is a battle physical efficiency test for a company. And she'll be hesitant to, I don't know, how will she bully the men? और तुम लोग fit नहीं हो, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. She has to show authority. My company is fit, physically fit. How will she and these men who have failed in battle physical efficiency test? They'll not say anything in the front, but behind they'll sticker. मैडम तो खुद नहीं कर सकती है, हमको बोलते हैं करने के लिए. Isn't it? Yeah. It is possible, but men, all soldiers are not likely to say these things, but in their mind, they think. You see, we have to lead by personal example. If you can't lead by personal example, we have no business to say this to the men. And if we can't climb a rope first class with without the support of the legs, ऐसे चलते हैं और ऐसे नीचे आते हैं. You don't slide like a bloody lump of back. ऐसे करना है. You have to show to the men. Okay. And the intercompany shooting competition. If your own shooting is wonky and one bullet there, one bullet here, and third bullet nowhere, you can't bully your men. Sir. You have to lead by personalism. And you see, they say we want to put our men in fighting house. It's very difficult. In Natula, I had women officers on attachment. Jack branch, women officers coming. Signal corps, women officers coming to forward to battalions. 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. It's a single lady. You have to give her a sahai, a buddy. He's a soldier. He's a man. A man is a soldier. Is a buddy. She has to take her clothes for wash. So the dhobi. Can she say no? Or she has to take her soil clothes to the dhobi herself. You see, they have their own physiological differences. She has a monthly menstrual period. She has her undergarment. Can a lonely lady live in a world of men? You have to ask. There was a case a couple of years ago, one lady refused to be examined by a male gynecologist. What do you mean by gynecologist? Gynecologist is supposed to examine a lady.
Yeah, reproductive.
How can you say, I don't want to be examined by a male gynecologist? Is it possible? You see, the women will have to shed their inhibition. They should lead by example. Okay? They should be able to live in a male-dominated environment in a field area. In a tank crew, in the night when the tanks take a harbor, where do the men sleep? They crawl under the tank, belly of the tank, where the driver, gunner, and the crew commander sleeps, all hugging each other under two common blankets in winters. Can a lady sleep with them? You tell me. Can she sleep with them? Hemmed down both the sides by men? Or will she be able to go sleep alone somewhere else? No. In place of Kalia, let's see if a woman had taken a captain had taken a patrol in Kargil, what would have happened to her?
Can't you imagine?
Can't you imagine? Are we a society which is willing to accept such atrocities on women? If Captain Kalia's place, a woman was there, if your body was mutilated, her parents would have, what would have they done? They taken the army to court. You did not protect my daughter. Nobody talks about these things. If you want to get into the male bastion, you should be willing to face the music. That's a simple blind word. Face the music. And then what happens when she gets married? Her husband is in a different regiment, in a different part of the world. She's in India, and they say Australia, West Germany, women are in all combat units. Well, no. What is Australian? They are surrounded by water. Do they have any enemies around? Are they surrounded by forces? Where is West Germany? It's in Europe.
So North Korea, one there, I think, of the Indian armies.
Yes. And what is West Germany? Are they surrounded by hostile neighbors? We are surrounded by hostile neighbors. Pakistan, leave about Pakistan, J&K, the fellows are still having that mentality. China, Burma, Bangladesh now. Yes. It is always in an ideal condition, ideal situation. Indian society, men feels that they are superior. It is how our village boys are brought up, isn't it? You go to Punjab, Haryana, girls are chal roti bao. Yes. We just want to show that to the world our women are no less than others. You see, they will fit into technical arm, Corps of Signals, EME. They may be better than men officers as the intelligence is concerned. But combat unit, you have to think twice. How can you find the same posting for husband and wife? What about the children? Who will take care of the children? What about her pregnancy leave, post-maternity and... They have lot of problems. As such, we are deficiency of officers. Against 22 officers in infantry, 20 officers in infantry, they got 11 or 12. Out of that, 2 lady officers. Then what about? So, my statement may be misinterpreted by somebody else. But you say the retired brigadier was saying this. But this is the fact. Let them give me answer.
Yeah, even so far, like I was like, why North Korea and all as army, women army. Now I kind of understood the things. Because we are in constant war and we have so many...
We are surrounded by enemies everywhere. You can change your friends, but you can't change your neighbors. We are in such a situation. Took Australia. What Australia? Do they have any enemy neighbors? They have a sea coast all around. Their borders are defined. After Second World War, where they have fought the war? We are fighting a war every day. Germany, most ideal condition. Europe, who are their neighbors? They only go on NATO countries, go on exercise, they fly a aircraft. End of it. Don't compare us with Australia में आर्मी फौज है, लेडीज है, और जर्मनी में है.